Hi guys, Olivia here and welcome back to my channel, Olivia Killing It. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe for more content all about running, race reviews, kit reviews. I also do a weekly athletics news roundup on a Sunday about all the past news of the athletics and any other kind of sport that I see that has excelled in the last 7 days. So I thought now here it is about time I did a video about my favourite items of clothing for kind of late autumn winter running. And also I might put in a few little bits on my wish list that I kind of think I should have for winter running. So I have kind of grouped certain items together because otherwise I'd have more than 5, so I have kind of grouped items together to keep it around 5. So yeah, I've grouped them together. So let's start off with headwear. So you can't go wrong with buffs. We all have buffs, whether they mostly come to our collection via race mementos. This is my latest one from the Xmas Virtual Half, but buffs are great. It's just the best piece of kit for any time of year, but I mainly kind of do autumn, winter and spring. They are just perfect item of clothing because you can just move them all the way around the body. If it gets too hot, you can put them on the wrist, because I find even if I start to get too hot, if I have it around my neck, I still feel really hot and kind of claustrophobic, so it can be around the wrist. Wipe the sweat. I mean, they all come with leaflets about what you can do, but these are the main ones I do. Kind of round the neck, quite nice on a cold day, or just if you're just wearing kind of a normal t-shirt and you just feel you need something around the neck and throat to kind of keep you warm. Perfect. And then of course, if it gets super chilly on your run and you want to warm the air, of course, into a face mask, very useful at this moment of time in the world. And of course you can just wear it over your ears to keep your ears warm, or kind of just a sweat preventer. And you can turn it more into a hat by pulling it out a little bit more into like a loose hat to keep your head warm. So yeah, buffs, great piece of kit, most useful piece of kit. And it's good to have a load because it does need to be washed after every run. If you fancy treating yourself to a new funky buff, then this is my favourite from White Star Clothing. Really funky buff that just makes everyone smile, and I think if you roll it right you will be able to see the face. So yeah, a buff. Also with my headwear category, for those really cold winter days, especially if you're running in the evening or early in the morning, it is a decent hat. This is just a very cheap hat from Carrymore. I'll link a few others down below, but a cheap one is absolutely fine. It has kind of a fleecy lining, and what also is great is that it's kind of longer at the sides, which kind of covers the ears, because I find that hats shrink. I mean, I'm sorry, but I hand wash my fancy bobble hats, but sports running caps, I'm not hand washing. They go in the washing machine, I'm afraid. So they do shrink, but I like the fact that it's long at the sides to cover the ears, because I do find that, let me put it on, really covers the ears, because I find that sometimes like a beanie running hat just doesn't cover the ears and they ride up a lot, and when they shrink they're no good. But this kind of covers the ears and kind of tucks under the ears. So a perfect hat for when it's really cold. So group 1. Group 2, I'm going to do hands. So early autumn, I do still use my arm warmers here. It's perfect for when you think a t-shirt's gonna be fine, but just to start off, it may feel a little bit chilly to begin with. So arm sleeves are fine, and then you can just roll them down when you don't want them, and roll them up if you suddenly do need them. I've had this pair for years, free in kind of a jog box, but I am looking for kind of an autumn winter pair that are kind of a bit thicker. So if you guys have a pair that you recommend that are slightly thicker, I also quite like the idea of having a thumb hole. But yeah, a thicker pair of arm sleeves. If you guys know or have a pair that you really like, please let me know in the comments below so I can grab a thicker pair for the autumn winter. Also, when it comes to handwear, gloves. I kind of suffer the Raynaud's disease, so my fingers go numb. Doesn't really happen too much when I'm running, but definitely as soon as I stop. But I do find that even if I have, if I keep my body warm and my hands warm, I'm quite happy with a t-shirt. And I have a few pairs of gloves, depending on how cold it is. So I have this pair from Gore Running, which are short and lightweight and really thin, not compatible with smartphones, but I quite happy to take my hand out if I'm taking a photo. Short and lightweight, perfect for cold-ish days. And then if it's super cold, or if I feel if I'm tired or I'm gonna be doing a long run in the cold, then I have a thicker pair from Nike, which have a fleece lining at the cuff, and they're just super thick and super comfortable, and just much thicker pair for when it is colder. So yeah, so it is, I do find that I do interchange between my gloves. So I do recommend having a thinner pair and a slightly thicker pair. Just covers all bases. Group number 3, we're going for feet. Just one item. And these are my PhD Smart Wool Socks. I just find in the winter, except when it's raining, in the winter, I like to have something slightly thicker, especially when it is super cold, chilly evenings, if I'm with the club or doing kind of a long race. I kind of feel that I need just kind of a slightly warmer pair of socks. And these are great. These are Smart Wool socks. They're not itchy, they're really soft. I would say, a medium weight sock. They're not super thick like proper wool socks, and I do find they keep my feet really toasty, but I don't get super sweaty. So if you're looking for a pair of kind of thicker socks, I would recommend Smart Wool. So 2 categories down, and let's go for the upper body. So as I said, sometimes it is warm enough to wear a t-shirt with a pair of gloves, and I do like having something thicker than kind of these cheap race entry t-shirts, and also something around the neck. So I do like Ashme clothing, which is a UK brand all about merino wool, and I just find them super warm and super comfortable. So this is a t-shirt with a zip, a really long zip as well. So if you start getting too hot, I can do it really quite low down. I also like the fact that we have the grey bit as well, and we also have a side pocket. It is merino wool, So it's merino wool, carbon and spandex. I just find that I just need a thicker t-shirt. If I'm going to go for a t-shirt on a winter's day, then I'm going to need a thicker t-shirt. And I love ashme. I love the fact that they're merino wool. They are expensive, but I did get this one and my long sleeve one, which I'll show you in a minute, in the sale. And this one I've had for a good 6 years, I want to say, a good 6 years, and you can put them in the machine. Yeah, it's 30, it's a wool wash, so it can go in the machine, and I just find that I feel so much warmer in a merino top for the winter. And as I say, if you're gonna buy a good quality t-shirt, do spend the money. Then kind of these are fine when it's warm, but when it's a bit chilly, nice merino. And I also like the fact that they biodegrade. So a short t-shirt. And lastly, my group of 5, of course, for those really cold winter days, you need a long sleeve layer. So I did early in the summer. I'm yet to wear it this year. I treated myself to the ashme long sleeve base layer. It's got the thumb loops, it's got the long zip, and also it's got the side pocket as well. Great length as well. So to cover, I find that a lot of my old running tights are hips kind of not up the waist, kind of below the waist. So I like things that are long to cover the belly and also keep the kidneys warm. So my new top I have yet to try. So when it's really cold, I'll be trying this out. But yeah, super soft around the skin, and yeah, ooh, can't wait to try that one. Of course, to cover all bases, we do also need to think about being seen, and also sometimes you might want a lighter weight long sleeve t-shirt. I have a few from past races, but this is my current one from White Star Running. Super bright, really nice lightweight material, slightly thicker than my race mementos, but thinner than this one. Bright, I mean, you're going to be seen in this one. Super duper length, and also it's based on one of the races, the Lamatory races, which I'm booked in for next year. So a nice, beautiful, bright top, because sometimes I do find that those fluorescent bibs are such a hassle sometimes, that just having one layer nice and bright is all you need. So yeah, check this one out at White Star Running. Medium weight, I would say, and super bright and super comfortable. So there we have it. Those are my top items for late autumn winter running. So as you might have noticed, there is, I would think, 2 items missing from our winter kit list. That is a waterproof jacket and a windproof. So I do have a waterproof jacket, but I find that I just sweat too much in it and it becomes really uncomfortable. And the thing is, it's quite big, so it means that when I sweat, the sweat just stays on the jacket rather than being expelled through the jacket, and I get too hot. And if it's just a training run, then I'm just like, I'll wait till the rain stops. So possibly I should look into getting a decent waterproof jacket, but I do find I get too hot, and the only time racing wise I would use a waterproof jacket is maybe on a half marathon, because I'm out for a couple of hours. Possibly I should look into a waterproof jacket, and also a windproof. I don't have a windproof jacket. I think that is something that I should use, and I should look into investing in a good windproof. Possibly I'd use the windproof more than a rain jacket, just because sometimes, you know, in the winter, if it is windy, you need more than a long sleeve top, because that's only one layer to cope with the wind, whereas having a windproof jacket is another layer to keep you warm. And possibly that is something I should look into as well, depending on how the winter goes. You know, if it might stay kind of mild, but mild tends to be wet. But yeah, so 2 items I think is definitely missing. It's a waterproof and a windproof. So if you have a waterproof jacket you love or windproof jacket you love, please let me know in the comments below so I can start doing a little bit of research round about windproofs and waterproofs and which would be better out the 2 for what I do. Adding to the 2 jackets, also that I do find if I am running and it's raining and it's cold, gloves. Keep my hands warm, but I have found that they've got so wet that actually my hands are colder in my gloves than if I don't wear them at all. But then they do start getting cold again. So I think there are a few companies like Montaigne that do kind of a waterproof mitten. So just a lightweight mitten that you can put over your normal gloves to keep them dry. So I think those are my wish list, because there's been a few times where it's cold, it has poured, so you know, it has been raining heavily on my run, and gloves are wet, hands are cold, and hands are actually colder with the gloves than possibly without the gloves. So yeah, that's also my wish list. So things I need to investigate and possibly purchase this winter. Let me know what your favourite item of winter clothing is in the comments below. Love to hear it and love to find out what you guys are loving out there. So there we have it. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. As always, subscribe, and whatever you do, #killing it.